Good evening. That was awkward. Good evening. How you doing tonight, Coach C?
I am wonderful. It's Thursday, that day that comes before the wonderful day Friday. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm really good. Kind of in a different setting tonight. No,
Yes,
no,
yes.
if you didn't notice.
And with a special guest, I see.
Oh, we have
Oh.
Social K here tonight. Welcome to the
Social K,
show.
Thank you.
welcome, welcome. It's what episode is it now? 6? Are we actually on 6?
We are on 6. We
Oh.
have reached the epic 6.
What comes at episode 7? Retirement?
I think that comes at 8.
Okay. All right. Still have a couple to go. Good times, folks.
Double digits.
Oh. 88?
I don't know if you have to go that far.
Oh, well, I like 8.
I was thinking like 10.
Oh, man. If we make it to 10, we just might as well go.
Right. Just call it a day. So today is all about relationships, the Titanic or bust, where we call it unsinkable. Ignore the icebergs and throw the lifeboats overboard because accountability, well, that's for the third class, right?
That is correct.
So let's see who we got popping on here. This is amazing. I see comments. I see Jeff's comment in the regular comments on the right-hand side.
I can't read the ones on the screen. I don't know why.
Let me see. Let's see what we can do about that.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, where do you want to start tonight?
Or maybe in the or toward the middle, or we can go from the outside like a Tootsie Roll Pop.
Oh, how many licks? Oh, wait. Sorry. That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to start with the cruise director relationship?
Sure.
All right.
Kick it off. Let's talk all about it. I'm going to work on fixing our chat here.
All right.
While we're talking.
Yeah, we can get started with this. Social K can kind of help me out here. So, cruise director relationship. Everyone out there that's listening, please comment. But it's where you planned everything, the dates, the trips, the conversations, the emotional growth. And their job was to only exist. Who out there has experienced this glory of a relationship?
Ooh.
And they don't always do that existing very well. You're not their girlfriend or boyfriend. You're basically the life manager. Were you ever the one putting in all the effort, Social K?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Social K, sounds like there's a story there. Tell us a little bit about your experience as cruise director and how things worked, how the ship went over, crashed into those rocks.
Yeah. It took me a long time to realize that, like, when you're putting more effort in than the other person, that's not working, and then you do it and you do it and you do it, and then you expect it to change and it's not going to change, so I think you just expect them to kind of know and like figure it out. They're not going to, just for the record. People kind of are who
they're like new puppies, right?
Yeah. And if you let it go, not change.
Dates to Petco and get them trained, right?
Yeah, right.
All right. Lullabies to Kelly Joan. Go to bed. So, but, why did you stay? Why did you stay in some of those, Social K?
Because I'm stubborn.
It's not because you're Italian.
Totally. Yeah, I'm Italian Polish. I didn't have a chance to not be stubborn, but yeah, no, stubborn. And I think you just always, I think we inherently want to believe the best in people. That, I mean, like, that's just, I think that's a lot of our human nature, is that we want to believe the best in people. But yeah, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
So,
So at what point do you realize that people suck? Right? At what point do you realize that people are just not who you think they are? You can't change them. You've taken them to Petco. You've asked for the refund on those those socializations. Just say, hey, you know what? Here's the curb. Cab's here. Your bags are on the lawn. Goodbye. Is it early on? Is it 3 months, 6 months? Jeez.
I think it's harder the longer you're there, because then it's like you've got all that time invested, and the thought of starting over is daunting. It's like exciting and daunting at the same time, right? So yeah,
it's like starting a new job, right?
Totally.
Well, and it's also like being a cruise director. Like, you have that emotional investment in it, even if your friend's like, "What the are you doing?"
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
They have to leave vacation now.
Exactly. Exactly.
That didn't happen.
That's okay. Get off.
Right.
I love it.
All right. Anybody in the audience, thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking about relationships and being the cruise director in relationships. So if you have anything to add, please do so in the chat.
Add it up. Add it up.
I mean, going along with being a cruise director, don't you think some of that is dating a dumpster fire?
Oh.
Like, everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Comorbid condition.
Friends knew, family knew, the bartender knew, even his ex knew.
Yeah.
But me or you,
Uh-huh.
because we're talking about Social K here. We thought we could fix them.
Oh, totally.
Thought we could fix them.
Totally.
Yeah. So let's talk about dumpster fires too. Dumpster fires and cruise directors.
Ooh. Dumpster fire and cruise. Now, define a dumpster. What is a dumpster fire? Besides throwing a bunch of garbage in a dumpster and lighting it on fire, relationship is a full-time job. Yeah, this is true.
I feel that it's somebody that is just, I imagine the Kool-Aid man just set on fire in a dumpster. Like, just like,
it's oddly specific, but
It's like hot Kool-Aid.
Hot Kool-Aid. Hot Kool-Aid's gross. No, just, they need you to do everything for them. They don't know how to handle life. They have the emotional capacity of like a 2-year-old. That's a dumpster fire. I think there's a lot of people.
I like it. Well,
yeah, that's my definition.
Yeah, if you look at it defines it as 1, a complete disaster. 2, as something very difficult that nobody wants to deal with. Like this project dumpster fire could be a colossal mess, often created by incompetence. Now the question is that person or that relationship, is that a dumpster fire by that other person's incompetence? Is it by our ignoring the signals, ignoring the red flags, ignoring that everything's starting on fire, and just thinking maybe it's the heat, maybe the furnace finally started working? It's getting warm in here, the feet are warm. Is that like the dumpster fire that we just ignore because of we're just not thinking that way? So in the comments, tell us a little bit about some dumpster fires you've been a part of. I can tell you a story about a dumpster fire I had a while back. This is a long while back.
Long time ago in a universe far away.
Stranger she was. I had dated a woman back then for, had been going on 6-7 months. Everything was going good. Went out to dinner, went to the movies, yada yada. Everything progressed. We got to that 7 month, and she had come to me at one point in time. We're sitting down watching a movie, having a good evening, and whatever the case is, eating some popcorn, drinking some wine. And she's like, I have to ask you a question. And it's something that's extremely important for me in relationships. And I'm like, okay. I'm like a little bit scared. Like, what's coming up? What's happening? What's that question going to be? She'd asked me, how is it with you? And I'm like, well, it is fine with me. I get, like, if we're speaking in Yoda terms or whatever the case is, it's fine with me. But I'm like, what do you mean? How is it with you? Come to find out, the comment was, my ex-boyfriend used to pay for all my bills, used to pay for my cell phone, used to pay for my car, paid for my gas, all my food, even drove me to work. How is it with you?
What? This is
Yeah.
after 7 months?
Yeah.
What?
And then everything had been, sharing back and forth. Oh, let me pay, let me do this. And then it came to the point where I guess, she was getting tired of having to pay for things. I guess, the money was supposed to be spent elsewhere, and came out with that question. And I wasn't even, sometimes people would be like, were you sad when she brought up that question? Where you're like, oh man, I was like, it was probably one of the most clarity, position where it was just like, fuck, this is over.
Good call.
Got up from that couch, and I'm like, well, it's been great knowing you. Shook her hand, and she, proceeded to scream at me as I walked out the door. I had to check to make sure I had. Thankfully, I had my keys and everything. But yeah, I just kept on walking out the door, walked to the car. As she lived in an apartment complex at the time, threw some stuff off the balcony. Thankfully, missed my car. And then I were away. Now, the only crappy part about it is I worked around this person for about another, I don't know, probably 5-6 years. So that was fun encounters in the hallway, fun dirty looks and stuff like that. The only good thing about it is it made me chuckle whenever I saw the person, because I'm like, wow, if people only knew. Because mind you, this is a person that if you saw her walking around the office, looked totally put together, professional outfits, had the look, but behind the scenes, total dumpster fire.
Hot Kool-Aid.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right?
Oh.
So that's probably my biggest dumpster fire moment.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think you've just left me speechless.
that was my point. Speechless. No. But yeah, that's an actual thing that happened. It set me on a path of, watching out ever since. And when people say, why are you single? Well, after being through things like that and other things, you tend to be like, something's not right. Has anybody out there ever experienced anything like that where you were with somebody? Did you start paying for all their stuff? Because I know people on that side of things where they're like that, they thought that was normal. And when I broke up with this person, they were like, how could you, wouldn't you just pay? Like, because I'm not a millionaire, and she wasn't my child. And
okay, but question. If you were a millionaire, let's just say, would you still have gotten up off the couch and left and dodged objects going off a balcony?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because nobody puts baby in the corner, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be pushed into a situation where I've got to, where I'm going to do that. I at the time, I have a hard time spending money on myself. So for somebody else asking me, hey, take care of me, I'm like, okay, this is a relationship, 50-50, not a caregiver, unless there's a contract that I missed at some point in time. But no.
Wow.
If I would have walked, I probably would have taken a private helicopter away from that.
Ooh,
I would have called, put up the dumpster fire signal and been like, yeah, beam me up, get on the helicopter flight. Probably would have been tougher to, throw things out of a car or at a helicopter flying away.
Right.
So somebody asks you to pay all their bills and asks you or comes up with, how is it with you? Make sure you clarify. What do we refer? And if bills come.
Yeah. I will say
that's my dumpster fire.
Yeah. When I go on a first date, or when I was still I'm in a relationship now, but when I was still in the dating world, and I went on a first date. I always like one of my gauges of if it was like somebody I wanted to maybe have a second date with is that they at least offered to pay on the first date. I didn't often take them up on it. I was always prepared to pay for myself or, but it was the offer of just being more like gentlemanly,
Yeah.
I think that was kind of one of my like, okay, he at least cared enough about going out that he was prepared to pay if I would have taken him up on it. Cause I never did. I was never comfortable with that when I was dating. But I'm like, but yeah, that was one thing I always like, "Well, I'm probably not going to go out with him again if he didn't at least offer, and
No.
whether, it was just one of my tests, I guess,
Yeah.
to kind of,
Well, it shows that, right?
yeah,
I mean,
I would never be presumptuous enough to assume that anyone was going to pay my way in any situation.
What
even if
about
you have money, you at least
Exactly.
to pay, that is so appreciated.
Expected to are two different things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm
true that?
Social K and the fact of I would never make somebody else pay, but just the offer or the thought enough to humanity enough to go, hey, do you want to, did you want to split this? Even if you don't mean it, still goes world of difference. Makes me actually want that second date. Right.
Completely, because I think you just kind of feel like that person's as invested in it as you are, I guess. Whether
Right.
that's a rational thought or not, I don't know, but that's what I thought.
What about when people are also invested in your meal?
Oh God. Not on the first date. Let's stay off my food.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You have some
Found
feelings.
I do. Like, no, we are not that comfortable yet.
Have
Now,
you
it's
had people eat off?
Oh yes. Yes. Yeah.
You mean go out in a group and they think it's a sharing meal, like you're going out for fondue or something, or it's your table's a buffet, and they just pick up.
When you're on a date, like you don't just reach over and grab somebody's food. That's like weird. That's awkward.
That is
I
awkward.
would never do that. Yeah. Some people are weird about that. Like I'm not weird about it, but if I don't know you that well, like somebody you know well and you're, that's different. But like if you're within the first 10 days, not be touching
10 dates. 10 dates.
Here. Yeah, see, I'm not weird about the food thing, but it's the drink for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Everybody's got their things.
Over and goes, oh, can I try your drink? And then they're grabbing it before you even say yes. That especially when you've just met somebody, like the blood tests haven't come back, the forensic hasn't come back. Like, you're taking a sip of my drink and I don't know if you have diseases. This is fantastic. I have actually where somebody did that, and thankfully the person went to the bathroom and I got the hold of the waiter or the waitress and said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can I get a new drink? That for some reason grosses me out. The food thing, I guess because it's not like direct contact or whatever the case is. I'm okay with sharing. But yeah, to your point, I mean, have you ever, Doc J, have you ever had a situation like that where, you're right in the midst of eating, you're taking a bite, you're really enjoying it, and all of a sudden you see that fork come out of the side of it and you're like, oh, the jaws.
I'm like, bam, get out of my food. Well, I think I'm just so used to sharing like that European style meal. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't had that. Mike Knipe, though, he put something in the chat about what about appetizers? Like, is it okay to share an appetizer with?
Oh yeah, that's like implied, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if you're with, let's say you're with one other person though, you each order an appetizer. Have you ever done it where you're like, hey, do you want one? But in your mind, you're going, please don't take one. Please don't take one. I want all this stuff. This is my gold. Or
yeah. I think
like,
oh, please. Because I've eaten with both of you. Now I'm second guessing ever sharing.
Well, somebody ever like Doc J or Social K, if we're ever out eating and stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, please no, have as many of the appetizers as you want. That means it tastes like shit. And if I'm like really, really good, enjoying it, and I'm like, sure, if you want one, you can have one. And I look like that, just kind of watching you to see what you do. that means it's really, really good. So just little heads up. Like if I make that
Okay.
face,
Oh, you're social.
take all
Got it.
take
Duly
all.
noted.
But if somebody is way too willing to give you a part of their food, that means they're probably either not enjoying it or yeah, I don't know what else it could mean, but that's typically what it means for me.
Interesting. You learn something new every day.
Right? How about drinks on a date? So have you when you've been or even in relationships, do you go with, when you're going with somebody, are you going with the most expensive drink out there? Are you going with something fancy? Or are you ordering a bottle of wine? Or are you going a little bit casual to see what the other person does? What's Social K, Doc J, what's your style on anybody out there in the comment land? What's kind of your style? Do you wait and see, aim with the first drink and then go wild on the second drink? Give me that fishbowl of jungle juice or happy hour.
Yeah, I feel like I just order. Okay, so like my first date with Jeff, I just ordered a drink and he was taken aback. He was like, "Whoa, okay, so we're doing that." Like I feel like I do what I like to
That kind of
do.
night. Yeah.
I feel like I do what I like to do because I'm always under like I would always be like, well, I'll pay for my own. I'm not like looking for, handouts, but yeah, like if I'm out somewhere, if I'm out to eat, like I want to choose the things I want to choose, but it's not because I want somebody to pay for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't traditionally drink, at least on a first date for sure. I don't know why.
Not on the date, but before the date.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Well, I mean, I had known Jeff since first date, so
yeah, you were good. Yeah,
it was a little different.
Yeah.
Jeff, cocktails, giddy up. Yeah, that first date when you back, Jay, Jeff was like, "All right," and then Heisman, not happening.
I had a guy I did on a first date with. He took the train out, and so I picked him up at the train, and we went to. I think we went like to Chili's, and we were sitting down, and we were getting ready to order our drinks, and he's like, "I hope you're not planning on drinking since you're going to be taking me back to the train." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah, and that trip will be happening sooner rather than you thought. Let's go." Because I was
I'd be like, "Let me show you the door."
I'm an adult, and I can make decisions for myself. And so I'm like, I go, had you said, hey, I would really prefer you didn't drink since you're going to be taking me back to the train. That would have been a different conversation, but to tell me what I'm going to do, I'm like, we're done.
But you have a rule of not dating people that don't have cars.
Well, that is exactly why. Because of
that is why the train guy made that rule.
We are a product of our dating life, so I mean, let's get real.
Wow, that is crazy. I hope you don't plan to. I would have been like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't plan to drink. I did enough meth before I got here."
Right? No doubt.
Then see, 2 drinks is okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, any drinks should be okay. That comment should never be brought up at a date. Like, especially, I mean, if you're that worried about getting back to the train station, you probably shouldn't come out in the first place. Or you should have 10 speed with you and just parked it out at the bike rack at the bar, or Chili's or wherever, and you ride your happy ass back to the train and go bye.
Exactly.
Right? So, or, bring your unicycle. Whatever you got to do. That's a weird thing. Yeah, I've never been on a date like that where somebody had tried to limit the drinks. I have been on a date before where we were eating a meal and I ordered, I think a cocktail or something like that to drink, and next thing I knew, a bottle of wine showed up next to her, and I was like, okay. I mean, normally you might think like, I mean, guy mentality might be like, oh man, this is gonna be a great night. I was just like, can I see the wine moment? I'm like, not that don't want to be uber conscious about pricing, but it's like bottle of wine shows up. I'm not a fine wine connoisseur or Chevrolet Testavante, whatever the heck it's called. But I was checking the prices to see what that bottle was, because I was like, and I had to ask, I'm like, is that for us or is that for you? No, this is one of my favorite wines. Okay. Great. Like, how do we speed this up?
Oh.
So I've had that scenario, but I've never had the limiting, like you can't drink more than one, or how much do you blow into this breathalyzer, type of date there.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
Tales from the dark side.
Tales from the dark side. What
Well,
about like we've talked a lot about like dumpster fires, dates. What about ghosts of relationship pasts? So I don't know. I don't know if any of those people came back into lives, but you move on, you heal, and then they text and say, "Hey," and you're like, "It's been 4 years. What do you want?"
Yeah. Why are you back? Didn't
Like,
know you're alive.
do you respond? What do you say?
Oh, my curiosity sometimes.
It always gets you.
Yeah.
It does.
It does get you.
It does. Guilty.
Yeah. I'm right there, Social K. It's like, why are you reaching out? Especially if the wasn't bad enough to really be like, no, never again. Dumpster fire. You read the message, set yourself on fire, and go running outside in the street. Yeah. If it's not like that, then that little curiosity peeps back in, and you're like, huh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
But on the other flip side of things, if you've gotten to that point, you get that message, have you gotten back together with that person, even just for like dinner or coffee or whatever, and then you have that epiphany, like, this is why we broke up.
100%.
I have as well.
Yeah, no. 100%.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you have done me wrong, you are done. You're at the point of no return. Mm-mm. No. Curiosity
What if
doesn't
they did
get
nothing wrong though? Maybe what if it was just a case of like you just got bored, the relationship kind of ran its course, and you were just like, I'm comfortable, but this isn't it.
everything happens for a reason in the universe. People go away on for a reason.
It's a hard line. Can you sense that? It's a hard line.
Right.
That's for another podcast story. Rules, Jessica.
I love it. Too funny. Yep, I've had that situation there, Social K. I've gotten that text. I wonder why you're reaching out. Let's get back together.
Yeah, I've been there, done that too.
Halfway through dinner where you're like, no, this could go somewhere for the evening, but I don't even want to enter back into that.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Michael Knipe, you are in trouble. That is like inviting Beetlejuice to wake up.
Yeah,
Do not say that name
times.
again.
Yeah.
You're in big, big trouble, Michael Knipe.
Evil.
Yeah. So while we're at that topic, let's talk about the Big D.
Well, that's not that kind of show there, Doc J. Let's be a little bit professionally unprofessional. The Big D. Tell us what you really mean, because I know you're not talking about the actual Big D. You're talking about something else, right?
No algebra talk tonight. We're talking about divorce. Yeah. Since Michael Knipe decided to bring that up. Yeah. So Michael. So, I know we've had some of these conversations before. You lived through my entire divorce.
Yes.
Social K.
Yes.
But nobody talks about the weird divorce stuff. Like if you run into them, if they want your parents' TV.
Yeah.
So like, all of a sudden you're at Target in the cereal aisle and you just start reading the Raisin Bran box because you're trying to avoid all eye contact. But you used to know everything about them. And now you're just like, I want nothing to do with you. Yeah. What about those weird things?
Yeah, I feel like that's always awkward, right? Like, how do you handle that? You move on from it. There's no manual for it, right?
No.
It just happens one day, the next day you're, or that same day you're single again, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go about living my life, and then all of a sudden, oh, there that person is. Or have you been on the other side of it where you've gotten a text from that other person from somebody else that was like, hey, so and so mentioned that they saw you as so and so or somebody else. What's going on? And you're like, wait a minute, the big D, it happened. Why do you care? Have you ever had that too? A little bit of a 6 degrees of separation there. But it's like to your point about coming back to haunt you, and constantly running into people, even if it's not physically running into them, just the whole dotted line running into them, or the people running back to tell them who you did. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. We kind of did this little thing in the court and signed some papers.
And you got the video game system.
Yeah. You first be off. Come on. Leave me alone.
I don't know. Yeah. When did it finally feel real? That's a question. If anyone out there wants to answer
12
that. 12 years later. What? 12 years later.
Well, it all depends, I think, if you let yourself get to that point, right? If you let yourself feel and know, that it's you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like me, you get divorced and then you go right back to work that same day and have to hear "I'm so sorry" from 6 million people, where you're like, you didn't cause this, so I don't know why you're apologizing, but okay, I'm going to go in this corner now. But yeah, I mean, how long did it take for you to realize you're okay? If you're out there in the crowd there and you've been divorced, or even if you just have broken up in a relationship, how long did it take to get you to feel okay? Like you're like, all right, I can do this life thing again.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
It's a tough one, right?
It is. I feel like it felt real once I changed my name back to my name on
Me too.
my driver's license.
Yeah.
On my driver's license, and like I sat in my car just staring at it, and I cried because I was like so happy to have my name back. It's the weirdest thing, but that's when it finally felt real. Yeah, and I think what surprised me the most was how easy it was for me to just keep going, like keep moving on. Like I didn't curl up in a ball and cry.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you think? You think it was where you were at in the relationship at the time, that it was just like one of those, like,
Yeah.
this has been time where you're like, you've gone through the denial, the acceptance phase, and all that kind of stuff, where when it finally happened, you're like, all right, I can breathe again, I can stretch.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a comfortable topic for our audience because there's not a lot of comments about it, but I'm okay talking about it.
Yeah. It's part of, I think it helps to talk about it, right? Like we said,
Right.
there's no talk about it.
I've not been divorced, but I would imagine it's like kind of like a phoenix coming out of the ashes, right? Like you were so unhappy probably at like you don't get divorced because you're happy, right? So at least I don't think so.
I love you so much. Let's get divorced.
Let's have a party. I did have a party,
Right?
actually. I went to Nashville.
Yeah.
And saw Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah. So it's like there's got to be some relief, like you can breathe again, like you can be yourself, and you're like, you're not walking around on eggshells anymore, and you're not like, oh my god, is this going to be the thing that kind of sets it off again, or I don't know. I just, it's like, yeah, it's got to feel like you just lay in bed at like okay, finally, like you can be yourself again,
That is true.
Well, the other thing too, not alone, right?
Mm.
Like I know the same day I got divorced, I found out a friend of mine got divorced on that same day, basically around the same time. He had posted something on Facebook after his. I was, I had more couth than that to be able to put it on Facebook and advertise it and be like, whoa. But it It was one of those things where he got divorced on the same day. About a year later, another friend got divorced, and you realize, you're not alone in that pool, right?
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I guess with the question with with the big D, as we say, it makes me giggle like a little school kid here. But uh, after the fact, you remain friends with your ex, right?
Mhm.
Have you learned to co-parent amazingly with each other? And have you been in a situation where it wasn't a toxic situation? I know we hear a lot, really in the news and stars and everybody else. You hear about all the toxicity, right? You hear about all the people that are just oh, so it's awful. Went through the divorce. It was terrible. But, we don't hear a lot about the other ones that come out on the other side of things, right?
That is very true. And I applaud those that can do that. Like they recognize for their own well-being that they just don't make a good relationship, but they can partner on things, but they're not good together day to day making decisions. Like they're just way off base. I
Yeah.
think we hear more about the divorces that are physical or mental abuse, and I think those, and at the same time, people don't like to talk about that because that's hard. That's hard stuff.
Yeah.
It can be awkward to be in those situations because.
True.
But I really I feel that there's so much to the whole piece, and I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I applaud those that are able to co-parent or still keep a level. Like one of my friends, her parents, their whole life still celebrated all holidays together. Like even though they were divorced the whole time. Like that was
Right.
super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even from like my personal experience, we've been divorced now for 12 years.
Mhm.
But family parties, when there's friends coming over and things like that, I know I get invited to, to go over to things and, and, even though sometimes it might be awkward, that might feel awkward to do. I mean, theme of our whole podcast here, this might be awkward, but,
This is awkward.
they just being included. You don't have to hate each other, right?
Yeah.
And there's in the world and so much of that you see with a lot of people, and that's where I think people kind of go off the rails on it. But it's you. I think like for me, I got to a better spot where I realized what's important.
Yeah.
And what's important, you learn to grow and help each other out, and especially if you got kids, you do what you can to make it the best.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a awkward topic, the big D, but I think there's a lot of people out there that could use hearing or talking through it to get to the other side. And that it's not always rainbows and roses, or some of it's pretty crappy. But thank you, Michael Knight, for bringing us to that topic. I will talk to you later.
Hey, we'll call him our catalyst. That started the conversation, and it's a great time.
No, I'm just messing with him like always. So going to off of that topic, what about that we'll always be friends topic? So a little bit off of that, but the biggest lie sometimes ever told is, well, we'll always be friends. We will always stay connected. What have you ever experienced that, Social Day?
I have like one or two people that I've dated that I'm still like on friendly terms with. But
yeah, she's like, I cut everybody. You're dead to me.
But those are but those were like we were better friends than we were.
Like you made that like
connection. It wasn't like there was just the spark wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah. No.
So,
well,
I think it's hard to it's hard to when you have feelings for somebody. Oh,
it's okay. Keep talking.
Yeah, when you have feelings for somebody, it's hard to it's hard to kind of separate that. I think that's just my take. But
do you think that sometimes we end up not accidentally, but like we end up dating people who are really truly more of our friends, and it takes us a while to like come to that understanding?
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Anybody
1,000,000,000%.
else think that out there? Mike Knipe, what do you think?
Yeah. Because I'm not like one of those people that doesn't think that men and women can't be friends. Because two of my dear friends are guys. So
Yeah.
I think that's a falsity. I think that if you're mature, you can be friends with the opposite sex. So
I agree.
Well, do you think going into that statement, is it a truthful statement? Is it trying to keep the peace in the moment and just kind of walk away? Or is it something that people really mean? I mean, is it kind of like for some, I think it's the path of least resistance, right? I know for me in the past, it's, good, bad, or indifferent. I've had situations where I've said, we'll remain friends. We can talk and stuff. We'll be better off as friends. But in your, heart of hearts, you kind of know that, like, you're probably never going to want to talk to that person again. Right. But to that point, what gets you to that point? Was it that bad that you're just like, no? Is that line a parachute for you?
mm.
To just be like, if I say this, then the lights come back on and I can leave without you stabbing me. Is that how that works? It's
No, I think.
say it.
Yeah, we're not ready for that kind of.
Yeah. So to Michael's point, why do you have to say it? Feels like a formality.
Yeah.
I just
Hey, Michael, you can put it on paper, maybe on a flashcard, and show them. You're like, let's remain friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, no. Have them check off the box.
That's so middle school.
Oh my gosh.
Well, welcome to my to my mentality.
Yeah.
I'm in middle too.
Or, I mean, when did the friendship actually die, though? Like, is there ever a time where you stay friends with somebody, but then, like, all of a sudden, 7 months go by, you don't even know them anymore? You don't know who they are?
Well, and then you run into them again.
Yeah.
See, case in point. You can't be good friends with the opposite sex.
Okay. Yeah. You can.
Hey, that's great. If you can do it, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It'll be to make it work. Matter of if you actually mean it, and you have to work at it, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's turn a little bit away from our own like relationships or dating to friendships, right?
Mhm.
And have you ever had a friend date someone? It's like friends turn swamp monster, right?
Oh.
And so like they start dating someone, they disappear. It wasn't the same person anymore. Like they talked differently, they had a different like clothing style, like all their new best favorite things were nothing. And you knew like they hated pickles before.
Yeah.
Who could hate pickles? But they hated them. And like they've been body snatched or like like has anybody had that experience with a friend and not a romantic friend, like a friendship, platonic, yeah, that word. And did you lose that friend to the relationship? Did they come back? Like, were they ever the same again? What happened?
I love the friend who like judges you for things and then goes and does the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you were just like yelling at me about doing that. And now you're like doing it. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. You said you didn't like your Croix Noir. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so good.
They know.
Yeah.
Like that. Where they they come in and out. I've had friends that have, like you said, they get body snatched. You don't see them for could be a year. When you see them when they're out of relationships, but you don't see them when they're in relationships. And when, hey, we should get together. I'd love to meet her. I'd love to meet him. they're like, oh yeah, we should do that someday, and that someday turns into years, but then all of a sudden, single, you get that phone call, and you're like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while, and then you start to recognize the pattern year after year after year when that happens. You ever been in a situation like that where you had those friends that are, your best friend when they're out of like quote unquote relationship hell,
Yes.
and then when they're in it, they just kind of ghost you, right? They're like, don't know who you are.
Mhm.
Or like you said, they completely changed their personality, right? Oh, I
Yeah.
love country. You never loved country music before. You used to listen to mumble rap. Well, I can't listen to that. Mary doesn't like that, or Jim doesn't like that. How many times do you run into situations like that?
It's like a roller coaster of
Yeah.
a friendship because you never know who you're going to get.
Yeah.
You start to think they have maybe multiple personalities, but really it's just they really aren't, I don't know, maybe strong enough to be their own person.
Mhm.
It's kind of sad, but then you just have to kind of cut them out because I don't know, like they're not great. They're not great
Well,
friends.
at what point do you cut them out? How many times do you let them come back?
Mhm.
Right?
I
Is
think that
it
you got to decide how if you want to be part of the problem or part of the solution.
Ooh, yeah,
You know?
that's a good one. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well,
Okay.
I guess this is a social worker in me, perhaps, or just who I
Perhaps.
am. But like I'm a big believer in the fact that if you let somebody do something and you don't say anything about it and you have a problem with it, then you're part of the problem, right? Then you're culpable
Yeah.
in that thing happening or continuing to happen. Like if you call them on it and you say, I'm not okay with that, and you still were like, well, it happens again, and you don't say anything again, it's like, then you're culpable and you're saying it's okay. So it's like you
Yeah.
gotta just decide when you're sick of it.
Yeah.
But
Well, and to that point, does that make you a good friend if you let that go on and you let them just keep behavior going?
yeah.
Like you said, are you part of the problem? You may consider yourself the best friend in the world, and I've been great to you, and I've been this, but to that point, Social K, is that really being a good friend, right?
No,
Or is
absolutely. Absolutely. I think we're so quick to, like, in that situation where it's like you're upset about what's happening, you're so quick to blame it on the other person, but you don't see your friend who you care about as being partially
right?
responsible. They're in that too because they're letting it happen still. Like they're still the one not picking up the phone, even though that person doesn't want them to, but they're the one actually not picking up the phone.
So true.
So it's like you got, like it's like
Right.
because I think we're easier on the people we care about versus those other people that we don't have,
Right.
that relationship with. But that's just my
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah,
But
to your point, it's also about communication, right? If you
Yeah.
don't mention it, no, or they might know, but they might not know how to get out of it. I know
Yeah.
from coaching world and part of the world that I live in, it's a lot of times people know it, but they just don't know how to, they don't know how to, right? They don't know how to ask for help. They don't know how to ask questions or to bring it up or to say, hey, I I'm not in something good right now, or I don't like what I'm doing. I want to fix it, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
Right? See, a friend pretend everything's okay. By the way, this episode's gotten really deep.
Yeah.
Really deep. And I just want to talk about pictures.
You just want to talk. What'd you say?
I just want to talk. I'm a little hungry. I haven't had dinner yet, but I
Way to lighten the mood, Jess. Way to lighten the mood.
Right.
sorry, I'm honest.
Chicken fingers.
I'm all
Really
the way in
amazing.
Champaign. We're in Champaign right now, Champaign, Illinois. Champbana. I don't know. I saw some mugs earlier today and I was like, wow, that's a play on words. Champaign Urbana, but it's like Champbana. I don't know. Shambana.
Well, talking fancy, Lake Zurich.
Lake Zurich.
Lake Zurich. Whee! Response in Lake. Yeah.
I always bring it
Anyway.
back to fish, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
But going on friends that just go poof in the night. We sometimes have experienced relationships and friendships, romantic, platonic, whatever, all in between, that vanish. like one day everything was normal, and then the next day they needed space. Like, what, are you going up on a rocket with NASA? Like, what do you need space for? But it's like they do a magic trick. Do they want applause? I don't know. They just disappeared. And like, what have you ever had? And it doesn't have to be like romantic, blah, blah, blah. But have you ever had a relationship that just suddenly was like, it was gone? Like, where did it go? It wasn't even like you could see the warning signs or the red flags. Like, it's just gone. Just gone.
Did it
Just,
end, or did it just pause? Did it leave you in a state of like where you're like, where is this relationship right now? What are we doing? Like, did they just go away to Tennessee for a weekend? And you're like, did you go away? I mean, I guess, clarify a little bit on there. Is that the relationship just like ended out of the blue, no warning signs, and
yeah, like
that
no warning signs. They just suddenly end, no explanation. You just never hear from the person again. Like, I do believe some of that happens like as you transition through different parts of your life. Like you graduate high school, and then there's like certain people that you talk to every day, and then they're off on their own, but it just vanishes. No, like nobody says like, sorry, I don't want to be your friend anymore. You're a hot pool of Kool-Aid. They just go away. Or, you in college, you like spend a lot of time with people, and then one day they're just a name. They're just a name that randomly pops in your head. Like, I wonder, like, I spent so much time with that person, but then we graduated and it was like it never existed. That's what I'm talking about. Is that
Yeah. Well, I think that happens a lot. Like when you stuff like that, even if you're in fraternity, sorority and stuff like that, or like social clubs, you're like best of friends. You spend all your time with those people, room together for years. We're friends forever. And then, like you said, you see the LinkedIn post pop up and you're like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in 20 years. I should reach out.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Kind of, to your power, just kind of okay with that, right? And as is the kind of let that relationship, it's a very strange concept. Thought a lot about that lately as I see like things popping up from college roommates, and I see things pop up and just have those conversations with people. And I recently went to a wake for a company that I had worked at probably about 10 or so years ago, and saw people, and it's, we said, oh, we see each other weddings and funerals type of thing. But it's like, why does that in between period happen when you spent so much time with them? You were good friends, you went out to lunch, you had coffee, you had conversations, and then you leave a place and it's just like you said, magic trick. Ever could ever. But happen.
Yeah. And I don't mean to get deep into that, but being at the conference that we're at, I am running into so many people that I'm like, like, where have you been? Like, and then they're asking you like, oh, how are you? How is this? How is that? Where? Okay. Like, I thought, and it's my thing too. Maybe I didn't keep as good a contact with them, but to have so many people on one place, you're just like bombarded with all of that. It's like, why do things end so suddenly like that? Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great topic. It's kind of one of those funny things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe not funny is not the right word, but it happens so. But like I said, you get back together and it's like nothing ever happened before. You know everything. The funny thing, when you get back to people, know everything about what's going on in your life. Oh, how old is your kid? They have to be about 6. Like, okay, if you know all these things, if you've been like stalking me, maybe on me, maybe you're writing my Christmas cards and sending them out, and I don't know that you're sending them, but maybe you're writing the history. And you can come and recite that to me, like, how come over the last like 10 years you never reached out to say, hey, wow, the kids are getting big? Or, your Christmas card, do you want any kind of say in that? Or do you want me to just keep on doing what I'm doing? Talking about how you live on the street, millionaires. It's a very weird concept. It makes us all interesting, and we're all guilty of it, right?
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just some things in life sometimes hit us, whether it's, forced togetherness at a conference or, things that happen where we people.
She's right there. She's sitting next to you.
Oh no, I spend so much time. Like this isn't forced, is it?
Yeah. Forced to go to a conference with
Hey, at least this hotel doesn't have bullet holes that you tell me
True,
was a picture
true.
hanging.
True.
There's lots of travel.
Yeah.
Christy and
We did take
Jessica.
the scenic route, however, though. So
There's lots of Jessica and Christy stories about travel.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not. I mean, that is relationship related for sure.
Yeah.
I think
But that could be
at the end of the day, we keep the people in our lives we want to keep in their lives, right? I mean, like you make the effort for the people you care about. I mean, like that's just kind of the bottom line, and I think to a certain degree we're all okay with having those people that you're like, oh, hey, happy birthday, or glad to see you're doing well, like once a year, like we had good times and I have good memories with you, but
bye-bye.
because we're moving on, but yeah, I keep in touch with the people I want to keep in touch with. I mean, I know that about myself. So
have you ever kept those people in your life though that you didn't want to keep in your life, but they just stayed in your life like a fungus and you couldn't get rid of them?
The older I've gotten, the less I do that, because it's like I think it's in touch with mortality, so to speak. Like I got so much time wasted on you.
Rub some ointment.
Get the bleach out.
Totally. Yeah.
It's a grind in here. I love it. Well, I know we are coming up on time here, unfortunately. I mean, and this could be a topic for several podcasts. I know we will do some additional relationship ones, friendships. We do have to tackle at some point online dating. Got lots of stories about that, including the story of the Splendid Daddy. We'll chat about that at some time. Just going to drop that here, and we'll talk about the podcast. But Doc J, Social K, what are we going to talk about next time? What's our next topic?
Like next week?
Yeah. I mean, next year or next time you get driven to a conference with somebody you don't want to be there with. I mean, sorry, kidding. No, next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same bat time, same bat channel, different cover photo.
Yeah. How about the emails and texts that are or communication we send out that's not what we meant to send out? We could talk a little about that.
I love it.
Yeah.
We've all been that. Sent that text, sent that email, put out that communication, did that skywriting.
Yeah.
It's just
You're notorious for skywriting.
I know. I can't help if it's an addiction.
I'm sensing like an air theme, like you're leaving in a helicopter, so you don't get stuff thrown at you, and
right. Helicopter. That's where I do the helicopter while I'm doing my skywriting. Come on, Social K.
There you go. Multitasking. I love it.
I have
is impossible.
Helicopter skywriter. I know. It's amazing. You haven't seen it yet because it's invisible ink, but
I have decoder glasses.
Damn it! You bought the 1920, didn't you?
Sure.
It only cost me. Beautiful.
It was Cracker Jack in the Raisin Bran box.
So we will talk about the text and the emails and the communication, including skywriting, but that you meant to send, or maybe some things that you wish you would have sent. We'll talk about that next time. But Doc J, Social K, this has been fun.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thanks for being our special guest.
Our first social guest. Social
yes,
K.
Official.
So
official.
You are important.
You
are important.
Thank you.
You're important too, Coach C.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go with "You Are So Beautiful," but you went with "You Are Important." You change it up a bit. I like how you did that. So, in any event, we'll see everybody next Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, stay awkward.
Life doesn't come with a script, and that's what makes it interesting. Real life, real laughs, real awkward. This might get awkward, real awkward.
See you next week, everyone. Good night.
Goodbye.